All right, my man. State your name. Let them know you on Nicovelli TV.
My name is Carl Hall. I'm on Nicovelli TV with the man Nicovelli himself. He's
Okay.
the ultimate Knicks fan, and I'm trying to give him a little play here because I'm also a Knicks fan, but I'm a die-hard basketball fan. And let's be honest, for the past few decades, the Knicks ain't been playing ball. But I like these young dudes now. I like this young attitude because they are going back to the old style Knicks. How we hustle, we bust our ass, we play deep, and we make sure that you know you've been in the game.
Okay. So are you familiar with the coach we got under Tom Thibodeau?
Yes, I know he's hard nosed, and he's a quintessential Knicks type of coach.
Why do you say that?
Because Knicks have always been, from the Clyde Frazier, Wallace Reed days, has been a defense first, offense second type of team. That's Thibodeau. If you don't work hard, you're not gonna play for him. You're gonna be at the back of his bench. So he's that old school type coach that we need, but we need some offense.
Okay. And do you think when we got players like Kemba Walker, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, I'm gonna start with them three. Do you think that's enough to get the offensive game going with the New York Knicks?
I tell you what, if these three brothers get together and decide to work hard on their offense, because they're not there yet. R.J. Barrett is not there yet.
You gotta back that up, brother. Okay.
R.J. Barrett is not there. Julius had a good breakout all-star season, but he crumbled in the playoffs. All right? So now that's okay, because we getting experience. And now with Kemba Walker, an experienced point guard coming in to guide them and give them some of his knowledge.
Right.
Because remember, those are two young boys. Kemba is a little bit of an elder. He's a bit of a journeyman. So I'm looking for him to give him some leadership and say, take them to the side. Say, listen, if we're going to be great, then us three got to put in the work and show the rest of the team that they got to come up behind us.
Okay. Now you said something about the Knicks and Julius Randle. We got to the playoffs and then boom.
Yeah.
Now you know sports got some somewhat type of politics in it, right?
Yeah.
After Kevin Durant said that the Knicks wasn't a cool team to play for, is it possible that was the Knicks' goal, just to make the team a cool, New York City a cool place to play for?
Well,
so you make it to the playoffs and then you say, you know what? Push the brakes on.
I'm not going to take that from you. And the Knicks, should always be making the playoffs. But when you talk to the Celtics, when you talk to the Lakers, what's their goal? To get to the chip. Not to make the playoffs, but to get to the chip. So we're a long way away from that, because that starts with organization. So we're starting to bring back the type of organization that could develop young players and keep them here and make them proud. Make this place, like you said, a place that players and free agents want to come to. Because right now, the Knicks history is, when you come here, we gonna hurt your career. Because we're gonna make you play harder, we're gonna take more out of you, and then by the time we're done with you ain't gonna be nothing left. That's been the Knicks' old formula. I'm hoping that now with this culture of strong defense, hustle, and youth, I'm hoping that this is a change that will see the Knicks franchise and the Knicks organization step up and move on.
Okay, are you a fan of Obi Toppin, sir?
Obi Toppin, no, I can't be a fan of just a player.
Okay.
I gotta like his style of play.
Do you like his style?
Yeah, he's all right, but you know what? He need a little bit more dog. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of light. He want to get his thing in there, but I think once again, here's where leadership comes in with guys like Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker should be able to take that young boy and say, listen, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, in order for you to be a professional. Because that's, at the end of the day, the Knicks organization has to make professionals. That's what you're supposed to cultivate, an attitude of professionalism. And I think Thibodeau is the right kind of coach for that.
Yeah, because, Thibodeau had players like Taj Gibson
and see, once again,
and Derrick Rose.
Right. Veterans that came, Derrick Rose played with Thibodeau, he played in Chicago.
Right.
They know what is expected. And then when you got those kind of players, they project onto the other players what's expected of them. Look, this coach don't mess around. You need to get your shit together. So when you got a Kemba, you got a Taj, you got that, a nucleus of elders that can guide the youth, that's something good. And that's something you got to develop and cultivate and maintain and keep that going.
Do you think Kemba Walker is injury prone? Because some say, Kemba Walker needs, I don't know what to expect. Somebody said if you got a healthy, what kind of Kemba Walker are we gonna get?
Well, that remains to be seen.
And-
And part of that is going to be how he approaches his own health and what his weaknesses are, what his strengths are. And the Knicks organization, you know, you got organizations like Phoenix and some organizations that really put the resources into rehabbing and rehabilitating and keeping their players healthy. Because an 82-game season, let me tell you something, brother, everybody can't play that. Look at Porzingis. Porzingis will probably never ever play an 82-game season in his career. There's some people that cannot do it. Their body is not built for it. I'm not saying that Kemba Walker is that, but he has to be careful. But I think in New York, and they take care of him like they should, it should not be a problem.
Should not be a problem.
Should not be a problem.
Now, you know everybody's knocking their head because the Brooklyn Nets is stacked up.
Man,
But I feel that the Knicks got the most bona fide coach in the league that will trump big names. Because when
I
it's big...
I gotta disagree with you right there.
Come with me.
You know
Talk
why
to
I'm
me.
saying that? Because on the college level, the head coach is the man. He picks the players, he develops the system, everything is structured around him. If something goes wrong and you don't like it, you gotta go, not the coach. In the NBA, the coach is just another piece of the team. When things go wrong, it's easier to get rid of the coach than it is to get rid of the team. So when Thibodeau comes here, if he can impose his philosophy on the Knicks and get that synced in, then he has a chance. But for a coach to have that type of impact, he has to be along the lines of a Phil Jackson, of a Pat Riley. Because when these guys get to pros, I'm a professional. So now all this, you know, you looking at me like I'm your son, that's over. You got to earn the respect of a professional player because they got some basketball knowledge too. And if you can't do that, then you're going to have a problem. So Thibodeau is a quality coach, but there's certain things that he can't, it's not him. It's a certain level of maturity that has to be achieved by the players and the organization under him. So you got to give him a little time. You know, he can't come in here and just say, I'm Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They got to feel him.
Okay.
And then they got to be the ones that step, like Jimmy Butler.
Right.
If you talk to Jimmy Butler, what does he say about Tom Thibodeau?
Oh, he talk highly of him.
That's what these kids got to see. They got to see the same thing that Jimmy Butler, boom, and Jimmy Butler will go out there and kick ass on
Right.
behalf of Tom Thibodeau. That's what you need. All these young kids, all these elders that's in the Knicks organization, when they get to that level, when they feel like Thibodeau is really that dude, that's when you're going to see Julius Randle mature. When you see Quigley and R.J. Barrett mature. Kemba and the older guys, that's their job, is to help them mature. And maturing is a process that you can't guarantee that it's going to happen in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Or it may never happen. But that's what you're looking for now.
Okay, man. And last but not least, it's the nail in the coffin. Mitchell Robinson. Is he becoming an injury-prone player, or do you think Mitchell Robinson's gonna come back with a vengeance and have a chip on his shoulder like RJ had last season?
I can have a chip on my shoulder all I want, but if my knees don't let me do what I need to do, you got to be healthy. So if I had advice for him, is concentrate on getting healthy, or the Knicks organization concentrate on him being consistently healthy, because Mitchell Robinson has the dog in him. You don't have to teach him that. You just got to get him to stay healthy. You don't have to teach him how to get after it, how to get in there. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that in a player, then the next focus is trying to keep him healthy.
All right, man.
Keep him healthy.
All right, with that being said, man, I want to thank you for coming on Nicavelli TV, dropping the Nick Chronicles, y'all.
All right. When am I
OG.
going to see Nick TV?
Listen, you're going to see Nicavelli TV today. Soon as we leave and this video is over, I got you.
Oh, my man.
And we out. Peace.
Thank